Hi HCGers, HCG Berry Babe, with an update and response to some recent vlogs, or vlog, depending on how long-winded I get. Today, this morning, for the last two mornings, I've been at 178. That's an ouch, since my goal weight is 155, and I've been close or there several times this year. So I don't think I've been off the pellets a full 3 weeks yet, and I haven't really been watching too much of what I eat, except I was up to over 182 and I've come down. I had stabilized sort of at 175. I was there for a long time. So right this minute I'm just working to kind of normalize and stabilize. I think I kind of wore myself out trying to, I know I did. I was on the marathon load. Went from mid 160s to over 180. And it's, those of you that have followed me have heard it all before, and here we go again. But what's strange for me and exciting for a lot of you is that now I'm hearing you talk about the 160s and the 150s and the 140s and the 130s. And for a long time, you were way above me and I was the one coming down. So, hearing Joann vlog today about being boring, what'd you say? You're stuck in the 190s? Well, I just was up in the 180s. So do you remember when we were way, way far apart? And I always said you were the tortoise and I was the hare jumping all over the place. Steady, if steady and dependable and sensible equates with boring, then honey, I've never shut off one of your vlogs. I watch them to the end, because I'm right there with you, and I just so appreciate you sharing what's on your mind and what's been on your plate and what's going on in your life. I just really admire and kind of envy your ability to be so stable. So there you go. I felt boring myself. Is boring lack of drama? Because I certainly create a lot of drama in my life. Is it boring? No, but sometimes I think I long for that serenity. Boring and serenity sometimes are synonymous. And then going on to my next response, poor Peggy. I know you were scared to death. And I apologize, because I have been a horrible, horrible example of what to do when you're ready to be done with HCG for a while. Have never done a successful P3. I don't even, there have been times I haven't even tried to do P3. I stopped the pellets or I was doing RX sublingual, and off I'd go and on would be the pounds. Giving this some thought while I'm frustrated, I'm not demoralized, because for me this year, I hit 153, and with my highest having been 323 when I was in my early 20s, and running in the high 260s, 280s, 300 for most of my adult life, I was scared to death. I had bones popping out, and if you go back and look at some of my vlogs, I was hungry. I was wondering if I had used up all the fat. It was so unfamiliar. I was terrified, and I had never been able to maintain either, and so that was with me. And the HCG, I would go up and I would go down, but that was the lowest that I ever got. And then I went up, and I came back down to 155, and that felt like a good place. And then I went up, and then I came back down again. The difference for me this year, being at a weight similar I was last year, is that 155 now feels right for me, and I feel fat. Whereas the first time I got there, I felt so thin that it scared me. But I want to say to you that you are not me. My Lord, dear, over the last year, you have shown resolve, tenacity, level-headedness, determination, love. You've put it out there. Whatever was going on in your life, you were there, being held accountable, being available for other people. I don't think you need to worry about going back to your fat ways. You have been so stable, and even though it has been hard, I don't think you realize how much you really have grown and have changed the way that you think about food. And just talking about how awful the cake at Christmas was, those kinds of lessons won't leave you. And I am supremely confident that if you follow your own advice, which I am hearing, that staying accountable with P3, and if you continue on that track, you will make it to your goal, whatever that ends up being right for your body, and you will be able to stay there. If you look at SoCal Plum comes to mind. She was on most before I came on the scene, but I did go back and watch all her vlogs, and she was so adamantly pop, and she is very adamant to anybody who says, anybody who talks to her, you ever hear her talk, that's the key. And you've been there, my dear, a year in the life. They say, I don't know who says it, but they say no guts, no glory. I don't believe that. You've lost your gut, but my dear, you are so full of glory. Your countenance and your love of the Lord and your ministry, and whether you realize it or not, you have been doing HCG ministry, and your vlogs are there for anybody to go back and follow through, and for you even to go back and help you remember. So I haven't been on Facebook much anymore and wasn't able to give encouragement there recently, but I just wanted to send you all of my confidence and belief that it may not always be easy, but you're going to make it. Are you old enough to remember Mary Tyler Moore? You're going to make it after all. You've been up and you've been down, but this past year you've been on it, girl. And my last comment is for Donna Simo in Michigan. Hi, Donna. We're freezing our buns off, aren't we? Just wanted, when I was listening to your witchy response to the lady in the grocery store, I just was remembering one of your recent vlogs about a little habit that you have that you really don't care for and you'd like to get rid of again, and it's really not very healthy for you. I have heard that Reformed addicts are the most zealous in terms of defending their healthiness once they drop the substance that's undesirable and unhealthy. And my guess is that you have started to so internalize what's good for you and healthy that you had that zealous response to this woman who was not paying attention. And my guess is she's probably been told more than once by more than one doctor or nurse or nutritionist exactly what she needs to be feeding her kid. And I just had the thought, and I apologize because this is in your business, but in terms of that habit that you're wishing you could kick, if somebody, my guess is that somebody has said similar things to you about that habit as you were feeling about the lady in the store, although it's your body and she was inflicting it on her kid. So I'm sorry. It was occurring to me that your passion is so understandable. It's so hard once you've seen the light to go back and be part of the crowd. So, well, I kind of am running out. I'm watching so many people being so successful. I've gone back and done some marathons catching up on people, and I think, oh, I want to be part of the parade. I want to do a round, but things are still stressful at school. I'm enjoying it, but it's still, I'm not ready to do back on the pellets again. So I do have, there's the Nutrisystem where she talks about the advertisement where she talks about you start wearing sweatpants and then you can't button your own pants anymore. And I just had that experience. My teacher pants have a knit waistband, and I bought them because they're dressy, but they can go in the dryer, and they have big pockets for my phone and all my other paraphernalia while I'm walking around the building. But the other day they were all dirty, and I reached in and got out my black dress pants, and I could have buttoned them, but I would have not been very comfortable. And it's like, oh, reality is setting in. So I'm just feeling not myself, which is unusual because it used to be when I was thin, I didn't recognize myself. Now when I'm heavier, I don't recognize myself. And I'm optimistic that one of these days it's going to kick in and I'll be on the crazy train, but it'll be the HCG crazy train, and I'll be coming back down. And then I'll need to do a Hail Mary P3, because that's where the difficulty for me really, really, really is in the maintaining. I can gain and I can lose, but maintaining. But I've never before this year been able to get to a weight that was worth maintaining to me. I always felt like I had to get low enough. So I've done away with that excuse. So now what's the problem? Well, I'm 60 years old. I'm doing what I've always done, and I haven't put the work in that you have, Peggy, to retrain my brain. I just haven't done it. I have that diet mentality where when I go off, I'm going to be able to go back, and I need to do some brain rearranging to get over that, because it's not working for me. So that's where I am. I'm still around the perimeter, and wishing all of you well, all of you that are listening well. Thanks. Bye-bye.